Today, I'm going to share with you a story time of the lowest low of my life. Of my life thus far, the lowest low I've hit. Now, before I start this story, I will state that my hair is in fact not greasy right now. I have recently stepped out of the shower. That is why I do shower. I have gotten better and I shower, okay? Let's make that clear. Now, at the start of October, for a period of 20 days, I was entering. I was, during these period. Better to start from the beginning. In March of 2025, I became a very, very hardcore shut in. I would not leave my room for days on end. I would stay in here. I would only leave to get out, go pee. My mother would leave my meals at the front door, and I would open the door and grab the meal once she had gone away. I stayed in my room and I did not emerge. I remained in my room and all day proceeded to do nothing but play video games, watch anime, read manga, and play anime related games and visual novels all day long. That was all I did. That was all I did until October, when in October I moved out of my room and I began to stay in an RV. Now, I did the same thing with this RV. I didn't come out at all. But really close to where I was staying in that RV, right down the street, was a convenience store. It was not even half a mile away. It was very close. I could walk to it with very relative ease. And since it was so close, and also I, at the time, had been in a very, very, it was not a good state. And this was in October. October is when I began to stay in the RV. And for a period of 20 days straight, I would do the same routine. Whenever it was nighttime, finally, nighttime, barely anyone was out. The convenience store was a 24-hour, it was still open. I would go there and I would buy a cup of ramen noodles, a white monster, and a bag of chips. Now, if any of you has any knowledge, you'll know that the combo of cup of ramen noodles and bag of chips is the exact same thing that Natsuki Subaru bought, or Subaru Natsuki. I'm so stupid, I said that backwards. He bought those things when he was isekai'd in ReZero in the first episode of the show. In the first light novel, web novel, however you read it, in ReZero. That's what he had when he got isekai'd, except for the white monster. I just got that for myself because I'm a chud and I drink monsters. And white happens to be the only flavor I've ever really tried because I'm scared to try new things and new flavors because what if it tastes sticky? But anyway, back to the story at hand. I would do that and then I would step out of the store. I wouldn't even interact with anyone in the store. I went to the self-checkout. I made sure I went at nighttime as well because not only because Subaru was isekai'd at night, but also because I didn't want anyone to really see me or try to talk to me. It was not a good phase. I did shower on occasion. I would go periods without taking care of myself. But I was shut in very bad, full on hikikomori. Just really bad. Bad. I was shut in. And for those 20 days, that was the only going out I did in all of 2025. Of my 2025 until that point. March, I went in and I didn't come out till October. And when I went out, it was to try and isekai myself. I mean that literally. I would buy the exact things that Subaru bought, and I would walk out of the convenience store, and for about 5 minutes every single night for those 20 days that I did this routine, stand there, close my eyes for a period, open them, in hopes that I would be isekai'd just how Subaru was, and hopefully end up in his exact shoes in that exact world. And it's funny that I wanted, out of all the places to get isekai to, ReZero, because that I wanted to be like Subaru, and he goes through, it's pretty bad. He's dying every episode, suffering mental torture. It's bad. But I wanted that position so badly. And now that I think about it, I think it's really because I wanted people to rely on me and I really wanted to feel like people really cared about me because people really care about Subaru in that world and he is very close friends. And I was like, I think that might have been part of why I was so fantasized with it and that I could, be a huge person of value and do so much. And for those 20 days, I would repeat this routine. I also wouldn't look both ways either when crossing the street because we all know lots of isekai protagonists end up in their world because I got hit by a truck. So I pretty much never looked. I would just walk across the street. But since it was nighttime, not too many people were ever going by, so I never did get hit by Truck Coon and Isekai. And all in all, this is a pretty depressing tale. But I also think that it is very funny, and I want this to be looked at with humor because also in this same month of October 2025, I started to make these god awful YouTube videos. And I have thoroughly enjoyed it. It is a hobby I don't get. I do not have a famous channel, but I do have people that regularly view what I make, and I have resumed going to high school my since 2025, and I am doing so much better now. I mean, most recent video you all see that I have a girlfriend even, but the lowest low of my life was all of 2025 from March until October when I did not leave my room at all. And when I finally did leave, it was to try to isekai myself because consuming the media that is a lot of anime and video games, it does thing. It will turn you into a chud very quick. And I was chudding so hard that I was trying to actively isekai myself for 20 days straight. Would stay shut in all day long in that RV, cooped up in there, eat the ramen noodles and chips and drink the monster I bought. Those were the only food that I had because I went there and it was the only food I bought when I needed to obviously go get food. And that was it. That's what I did. And very, very tragic tale at the end of the day. That's what I chose to do with my life. But as you can see now, I'm doing much better. And anyone also that is out there that is struggling, it does get better, but only if you commit yourself to it. No one showed up to get me out of my room. No one came to help me. And I did have friends in that time, and I did have my family members. But truthfully, they did not help me. They brought me food. I got food brought to my door for the times when I was in this room. When I was in the RV, I was completely on my own. And I had to make the choice during that October after I had watched this show called Welcome to the NHK, which is a great show, by the way. But I realized no one is coming to help me. If I want things to get better, if I want anything to happen, I have to do it myself. And while I was doing things for myself, I ended up meeting a very close friend of mine, and I ended up making a very, very good small group of friends. And I have this YouTube channel that I enjoy doing as a very fun hobby, obviously. And I realized that I have things that are worth living and trying for. And this is possible for everyone. This is completely possible in every way. To anyone out there, I hope my story helped you in some way, shape, or form. I genuinely do. This was the lowest low of my life. And you could be in your lowest low right now, but you don't have to be forever. Everyone, please do not take this video too seriously. It is meant to be a very fun, goofy, and silly one. I'm sharing my story and completely for the purpose of humor, because honestly, I think it is very funny that I was chud so hard that I actively was trying to isekai myself. But that is it for the video. If you all enjoyed, leave a like. If you all were inspired in some way, shape, or form, comment. And if you want to see more of my awesome YouTube slop, hit subscribe.